You are waiting for a moment, a magical moment, when all hesitation inside you will disappear, when you will feel completely ready to write that book, to start that business, or to rebuild your life from the beginning. You think, let me learn a little more, organize a little more, then. But days turn into months, months turn into years. That perfect moment never arrives. Your ideas keep solidifying inside your mind, while in reality, you remain standing in the same place. Have you ever wondered why you feel so exhausted before you even begin? Why your ambition paralyzes you instead of moving you forward? Today, we will talk about the psychology of waiting. We will understand why the perfect time is nothing more than a mirage, and how your brain, in the name of keeping you safe, is actually holding you back. This feeling is very heavy. It is not laziness. Lazy people don't feel guilty for not working, but you do. Your standards are sky high. Whenever you think about doing something, you imagine its final, perfect version, and that is where the problem begins. When you see the gap between that perfect result in your imagination and your current skills, you become terrified. You think, what if I start and it isn't amazing? What if everyone realizes I'm not actually capable? In psychology, this is called perfectionistic paralysis. It is a cruel cycle. Because you want it to be perfect, you develop an intense fear of making mistakes, and because of that fear, you cannot even begin. You postpone the work. We call this procrastination, but modern psychology says procrastination is not a time management problem. It is an emotional regulation problem. You are not avoiding the task, you are avoiding the negative emotions attached to it: anxiety, self-doubt, and fear of failure. Waiting becomes a protection mechanism for you. As long as you don't start, you cannot fail. It is a form of negative comfort. First, let's make one thing clear. There is no fundamental flaw within you. You are not broken. Your brain is not trying to sabotage you. It is trying to protect you, in a very primitive way. Our brain is the result of thousands of years of evolution. When humans lived in small tribes in the wild, making mistakes or being rejected by the group meant risking death. Being isolated from society meant danger. So the brain tries to avoid possible failure or criticism at any cost. Today, there are no tigers or bears threatening us, but those ancient circuits in our brain are still active. The desire for perfection is a modern armor you wear to protect yourself from criticism. You think, if I am perfect, no one can hurt me. It is an attempt of protection, but it has now become your prison. Let's take a look inside your brain. Why does this paralysis happen? Imagine two main characters living in your mind. The first is the architect. This is the front part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. It understands logic, makes plans, and paints beautiful pictures of the future. It knows what is good for you and wants to begin. But deep inside the brain lives the second character, the watchman. This is your amygdala, the center of fear and emotion. Whenever you take on something new, big, or uncertain, where the outcome is unknown, the watchman panics. It confuses uncertainty with danger. It sounds an alarm, the fight or flight response. Your body fills with adrenaline, but there is no real tiger to fight, so that energy turns into intense anxiety. The watchman then hijacks the logic of the architect. It says, stop, do not move until you are 100% certain that no mistakes will happen. This is the paralysis. When you wait for the perfect time, you are actually waiting for this frightened watchman to calm down. But it will not calm down on its own because the uncertainty still exists. So what is the solution? How do we bypass this primitive programming? The answer is not trying harder. The answer lies in a new psychological principle, the good enough principle. Here are 3 psychological steps that can help break this cycle. Step 1. create distance from your thoughts, cognitive defusion. Your mind will say, "You can't do this," or "This is terrible." Perfectionists treat these thoughts as absolute truth, but they are not truth. They are just electrical signals sent by your fearful watchman. When these thoughts appear, don't argue with them, just notice them. Tell yourself, "My brain is telling me right now that I will fail." This small distance is called cognitive defusion. It frees you from becoming a slave to your thoughts. Let the thought come and let it pass. Step 2. The 70% rule. This is the antidote to all or nothing thinking. We think either it must be 100% perfect or nothing at all. This is a cognitive distortion. From now on, aim for 70%. Tell yourself, "I will try to do this 70% well, and that is enough." Why? Because the pressure of 70% is lower. Your amygdala, the watchman, does not panic. It thinks, "Oh, this isn't that dangerous." Interestingly, once you begin working towards 70%, you often end up reaching 90% or more. Overcoming the inertia of starting is the real challenge. Step 3. Break the myth of motivation. Action precedes motivation. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is, "I need to feel motivated first, then I'll work." We wait for motivation. But psychology says the opposite. This is called behavioral activation. Your brain does not release dopamine, the motivation hormone, before you start working. It releases it after you start. When you begin working, even mechanically, your brain recognizes progress and then makes you feel good. So don't wait for the perfect mood. Just commit to working for the first 5 minutes. Motivation will follow you. Let's change your perspective. Perfectionists see life like a marble sculpture. They believe a perfect statue must emerge in one strike. That's why they're afraid to lift the hammer. What if one wrong hit ruins everything? But reality is not marble. Reality is clay. You must start with an ugly, imperfect lump of clay. That is the beginning of good enough. Does it look bad? Yes, but it exists. Then you add a little, remove a little, polish and reshape it. That is how great creations are made, not in one attempt, but through repeated iterations. Your imperfect works are that lump of clay. Don't hate them. They are the foundation of your ultimate success. The perfect time will never come. The moment in which you are breathing right now is the only time you truly have. Thank your inner watchman for trying to protect you, but tell him that from now on, your hands are on the steering wheel. Gather the courage to start messily. Give yourself permission to make mistakes, because nothing in this world began as perfect. Everything was once simply good enough. Your canvas is waiting for you. It doesn't need to be perfect. It only needs to be started. Let that imperfect journey begin today.